We got a comment here from Tot943 saying Bergwijn has been a huge flop. I mean, that's a bit over the top. A huge flop.
Well, I mean,
look, I know he's had a poor season.
It is a bit over the top, but he hasn't been good, has he? Like, in general.
I think that he's had a poor season last year. There's no getting away from that. Yes, he didn't get a goal, but I do think that his first half of the season, he did some good work, and he was one of the better players in the team. You've got to say that.
Yeah.
Second half of the season, yeah, completely flopped second half of the season. But people are forgetting when he first came into the side, how positively he played in the first few months of his Spurs career, scoring great goals, scoring in big games. You know, at that time there where Sonny and Kane was out, yes, he didn't help us win games and stuff like that, but he was definitely one of our best creative and attacking players.
Yeah. Well, what you mean when he first broke into the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was back then. I would say right now, though, it's unfortunate, but I do think he's in the flop category, and he has to fight his way to get out of that if he wants to not be. I think right now he's kind of in flop, and he needs to work his way to becoming a good signing.
I would never say I can't like. Usually with a flop like Vincent Janssen, you'd be like, oh, get rid straight away. You can't see anything in this player, Vincent Janssen. But it's not like that. Like, you can see something in Bergwijn.
Of course, I don't want to get rid of him.
Like, you can see something in there. You can see there's a player in there. You can see he has good attributes to thrive in the Premier League. It's just something hasn't gone right for him in the last season. And I genuinely believe there is something in there, and I really want the Spurs fan base to be patient with him, because he's a young player coming over from a foreign league. Obviously, the pandemic hit, and there was stuff with his family, which he couldn't see his family for a long time and stuff like that. So I think that people need to be patient with him, and I think you'll see a better Bergwijn this season.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we signed him for the long term for a reason. We signed him as a young player, so hopefully this season, under a more attacking manager, he'll get more chances to flourish, and maybe we'll see the best out of him.
Yeah, definitely. Super chat here from Ewan Andrew says, Stevie isn't a flop. He played a defensive role under Jose, gave his all for the team, decent pre-season, and plays for the team, not himself, unlike half of the players last season.
Look, if he left right this summer, say we sold him, you have to say he's a flop, right?
Yeah, because any player you sell after 2 years is probably a flop.
No. Not if they did well and you sell them for
not if
profit.
you're forced to sell them, yeah.
Exactly. So, like, Carrick wasn't a flop. We sold him after 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, right now, this is what I'm saying, right now, he's a flop, because if we sold him right now, he would have to say the transfer failed.
Is there no middle ground? It's either flop or success?
No. But he's a flop.
I'm saying that, is there no middle ground?
There is a middle ground, but I don't think he hits that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he does, though. I think he does.
I don't think he does.
I think the last 6 months of his last season, was terrible. But I think, even though he didn't get a goal, he was still providing positively to the team.
I'm just saying, if we sold him now, you have to say the transfer failed if we sold him this summer.
Yeah.
So right now he's a flop. And right now it's up to the ball. Right now the jury is he's a flop, and he has to convince us otherwise. That's what my stance is. I believe he can. I like him, and I would keep him.
I just think it's harsh. I think it's harsh calling him a flop right now.
It's harsh, but football's a harsh game, isn't it?
I think it's harsh because, like I said, look, he hasn't got a goal, and that in itself is flop territory.
Exactly. We got one goal. We got one right at the end against Villa.
One goal. But I think that the way he provided to the team at moments in the season elevated him just above flop.
I unfortunately, I like Bergwijn. No, don't get me wrong. I like him. I think he's got a lot of quality, and I believe there are other reasons other than himself why we haven't seen the best of him. Unfortunately, right now, he is in the flop category. He has been a flop, unfortunately, since he signed.
I reckon the Spurs fan base is very split on this. I think actually we can put out a poll on this.
Can you? How do you do polls?
just give me 1 second. I'll work it out. Carry on.
We're YouTubers. But we're trying to still work out YouTube. I don't know how to put a poll out. We'll try and sort that out for you. But as much as I want him to be, as much as I want him to. Oh, can we do it live in the chat?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Can we see how many people voted?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
I just think I'm not saying he's going to be a flop by the time he leaves Spurs. I'm just saying if he left Spurs now, he would be considered a flop. That's my position on Bergwijn.
All right. The poll is there for you right now. You can see how many people have voted. Yes, you can.
All right. We got 1,400 people. Everyone getting on the poll.
I want to know
vote.
your
I wanna
opinions.
I wanna
Is
see
Steven
people's vote.
Bergwijn a
Flash
flop?
polls.
Is he not a flop? 66% saying no right now.
153 votes are in. We should be doing this more often.
Yeah, we should. I think it's a new feature.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, people, let us know in the comment section if you want to see more polls, but get voting first. I
Yeah,
wanna see
everyone
people
get voting. Before we let you go, Steven Bergwijn, has he been a flop or not?
I think he's in that beautiful middle ground. You guys.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's a flop because he started out really well for us. First of all, it was like his first 4 games at White Hart Lane or something. He scored, including that beautiful volley against Manchester City. I think I agreed with one of the super chats that came in there that he's just been played kind of out of the position you'd expect him to be in. He's really defensive last year in that Mourinho style, and I feel there was a while there when we needed a defensive right winger. Bergwijn was the player we went for, so he didn't quite have that output in terms of goals and assists, as we all know. Same amount of goals in the league as Alisson last year. Love that stat. But he did a job for us quite consistently, and I felt like he was really going somewhere. But that game against Liverpool set him back so much when he missed those 2 chances, and obviously cost us the game there and potentially a place at the top of the table for Christmas. But look, he's still young. Like you said, Eredivisie players adapting to the Premier League doesn't always work out. I think we did get lucky in those 2 players you mentioned, like Eriksen, Vertonghen, and Alderweireld. But within those players, you always have a Janssen. You always have you could argue Bergwijn, who's taken a while to adapt. But I think it would be foolish to not give him that chance. And you do have to remember as well, look at all the different kind of things that have happened since he came in. He came in and kind of wasn't at the peak of Jose Mourinho. Then all of a sudden we had the worst of Jose Mourinho. Then we have Ryan Mason, and now we're starting again with a new manager, with a new style, with a new system, and that's going to prolong that time it takes him to adapt twofold. So look, give him a chance. I see where he goes. He's still young, still has a lot of learning and developing to do. And I don't think he's been a flop, but I don't think he's been a success either.
If we sold him this summer, Matt, would he have been a flop? If you look back at his time at Spurs, if we have sold him this summer, is he a flop?
It depends on who we get in with that money.
No, forget that. I'm looking if Spurs sell Bergwijn,
he really wants you to say yes, Matt. He really wants you to say yes.
I'm playing devil's advocate. All I'm saying is, if Tottenham has sold Bergwijn this summer for 25 million to Ajax, would you have considered his time at Tottenham a failure?
No.
You wouldn't have.
But I don't quite believe what I've just said.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I agree with everything you said. Everything you said I think is spot on. I completely agree with it. I'm just saying right now, as of today, August 11th, at 12:20, he has been a flop.
But 12:22, he won't be anymore.
Who knows?
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going to finish his Tottenham career a flop. I'm saying right now, he's been a flop, and I think the jury is out, and he has to kind of prove to us that he's not going to be a flop. That's just how I see it. But I think you're spot on in everything you said.
I think the jury is definitely still out, but I don't think flop is the right word.
That's fair.
I think it is. I mean, it's harsh, but unfortunately, I do think it is. That's just my opinion. I love Bergwijn. I think he's a good player.
Only time will tell exactly, Matt.
I think he's a good player, but I just think right now he's a flop. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
Matt, absolute pleasure having you on as always, my friend. And yeah, big up to you and your channel.
Strength
onwards
to strength.
and upwards, man.
Yeah, thankfully it's going well at the moment. But
it is going well.
Sure
Big up. Everyone go and subscribe to Matt Hayes. Absolutely brilliant Spurs content. And there is only one way he is going, and that is up. So big up
forward
yourself,
to more
Matt.
Hayes we goes in the future.
Exactly. We're waiting for it today.
Exactly.
I'll let you know as soon as I can.
I'm going to start spamming your Twitter every time you tweet Spurs news, Martinez news.
I'm getting DMs now with Martinez news. I feel like I've made it. This is the pinnacle. It's just all down from here.
Kane contract. We're going to start spamming Matt.
We got to get Hayes we go trending next time when we sign Martinez.
100%.
I'm trusting you to do that.
Matt, we'll speak to you soon, bro.
Thanks, Billy, guys. Talk to you soon.
Nice one. See you.
Bye. I think we have run out of time today.
Is that it?
Yeah, because it's nearly 12:30.
Okay.
I'm going to end the poll. Can I see the results of the poll once I've ended it? I can't see it.
I can see it now. I can see the poll.
I can't see it.
65%. Oh, it's gone there.
That's
it's
what I'm
gone now.
saying.
It was 65%.
Oh, it's here in the chat. 1,400 votes, 65 saying no, 34 saying yes.
All right.
So look, I think we'll see how it goes from then on. We'll see how it goes.